After Zimbabwe's President Mugabe announced his resignation from his post, the country's parliament erupted in cheers. Mugabe resigned even as impeachment proceedings were going on against him. People across the country also celebrated the resignation of the 93-year-old leader. A suicide bomber detonated a pickup truck loaded with explosives in Iraq, killing 32 people at a marketplace which is situated in a town claimed by both Baghdad and the Kurdish region. At least 75 were reportedly wounded in the explosion. The German parliament met for the first time after the breakdown of talks to form a new government. 4 weeks of talks between Chancellor Angela Merkel's Conservatives and two smaller parties collapsed on Sunday, but the German parliament speaker said that the country's political parties had a responsibility to compromise. Russian President Vladimir Putin held talks with his Syrian counterpart Bashar al-Assad in Sochi on Tuesday. Putin then brought him to meet Russian army commanders and officials, where both the presidents thanked the forces for their fight against what they call terrorism in Syria. The leaders of Serbia and Macedonia met for the first time in the Serbian capital of Belgrade since the withdrawal of Serbian embassy staff from the country. The staff was withdrawn after reports of offensive acts planned against the Serbs in Macedonia. However, the country has denied any impropriety. Venezuelan authorities detained the president of a state-owned oil company's U.S. subsidiary along with 5 others for their alleged involvement in a corruption scheme. The detentions are part of an ongoing investigation by Venezuelan authorities into the country's oil sector, which has struggled in recent years amid mismanagement and declining production. A teenage suicide bomber detonated as worshippers gathered for morning prayers at a mosque in the northeastern region of Nigeria, killing at least 50 people. This was one of the deadliest attacks in the region. No group has claimed responsibility for the attack. A massive fire broke out near Detroit in the United States. While the exact cause of the fire remains unknown, the blaze occurred after a gas transmission line ruptured. Authorities called for evacuation in the surrounding regions due to the fire. A prominent Chinese human rights lawyer was sentenced on Tuesday to 2 years in prison on the vague charge of inciting subversion of state power. This was the latest verdict passed down in a sweeping crackdown on activism that has drawn widespread international criticism. British Prime Minister Theresa May said that the UK would honour its financial commitments and was ready to move on to phase 2 of the negotiations to discuss a future partnership and a comprehensive trade agreement with the EU. But this only if the EU agrees to start discussing a future free trade deal.